Hello guys, so today we are going to build this project here, a smart home using Python. So we are going to build this project step by step. So this is the structure of the project, smart home. I have various subfolders here, the app, which have the initialization file, the controls, the sensors, the UI. I have the configuration folder here with the settings.py. And then I have the logs, which have we log the app logs. And then we have the main.py file here. This is the entry level of the project. And then we have the documentation file here down here. Later on we are going to freeze the requirements, the required packages of this project. So today we are going to start with this file, the controls .py file. So we are going to write this. So this is going to be our very first file. We're going to call the app controls. The app controls files. So the app controls file. So now let's start writing this file. So we begin the state of the devices. Okay, so we are creating this this is like a dictionary, a Python dictionary, which is going to hold the state of the devices. So let's start with the lights. We give it false, of course false. So the initial state of the lights is off. Let's have a fan. The initial state of the fan is false as well. Then we're going to have another state, motion. We're going to have we want to incorporate motion detection. So motion, we're going to have clear. Let's have clear. Next, remember these our control file. This is the file that carries the control capabilities of the devices. So we have declared the state, the default state of these devices. Now let's create a function here for controlling the lights. So let's call it toggle lights. Okay, so this will be a function to pull the lights on and off. So we call our state of the lights from the dictionary we created. Let's say not state, so not false, lights. Then we're going to return state lights. Does that make sense? So the initial state of the light is false, so like it's off. Okay, So this is not for toggling. So this first statement here, state lights not state, so that means it's true. Okay, then return the state of the lights. So this is the most important statement, the return statement. Like this one, it returns if it's true, then it should be on. If it's false, it should be off. Let's go to the next function. The next function will be for controlling the fan. So let's call it toggle fan. We are going to do the same. So I can just copy paste this one. Yes, that we are going to change where we have lights. We put fan. Okay. So let's go paste it here and then edit this to fan. Fan. And this one, we have the fan as well. Then let's create a function for the motion detection. So because we are going to integrate the hardware later on, so we are going to for the hardware, like we are going to simulate them. We don't have actual lights, we don't have actual fans, we don't have actual motion mechanisms. So what we're going to do, so let me do this, or let's do this, simulate motion. The function to simulate motion. Then we are going to import random, because we are simulating this. So the state of the motion will be random. So we're going to utilize the random library dot choice. And let's say it can be either detected or clear, no motion detected. Okay, so clear is no motion detected. Then we as well return what interested me. So we return the state, we're interested in the state. So return motion. Then we're going to create another function here for the status of the devices. So if you want to know if the lights are on or off, or the fan is on or off, or there's motion or no motion, so this is going to be handled by this function. Return state dot copy. So this is a function, state. So we're going to define this somewhere. Okay, we're going to write it somewhere. So let's save this file. Next file, let's write this file here, the sensors.py, just like I said. So this is going to be call it what? So this is basically a file that mock with sensors remember we are not using actual hardware, so we are just simulating and more. So let's have a sensor like temperature sensor. So we're going to simulate it using a function. So read temperature. Let's use this function to more. And let's say return. Let's use n value, for example. Though we are going to use random to generate random temperatures between certain ranges. Let's have this like humidity. This like for humidity. In real sense, we would have used something like maybe DHT sensor that's capable of doing both temperature and humidity reading. So return 60. Let's save this as well. Let's build the UI. Okay. It's like also going to use Tinkta, okay, for this. So this be our so let's import tkinter. Don't know how you pronounce this, as tk. No, you just need as tk. Not. Then here we say from tkinter import message box and from app.controls. So we are importing from this file we have created. We are importing toggle. Let's import all the functions we created. Toggle lights, because we need them here in the UI, so that a user can control the devices. Simulate motion. And get status, just to ensure that they match what we just. So toggle light, toggle form, or simulate function will get status. Okay, that will have here. Alright, we are done with the imports, so now let's create a function that will launch our GUI. So something like that. This is the function that will start our user interface. So just going to call the tkinter functionalities here as tk. Let's have the title. Let's have the title as smartphone controller let's define the geometry of our application window. Let's have 400 by 300. Let's have the status now at the beginning. Sorry, not at the beginning, but so we are acquiring the status. We are displaying the status at that moment. Status equal to get status. I think we had this function. Yes. Wait. Get status, yeah. So the current status will be displayed here on the application window. We forgot something important. Let's have the background color of our application. I think we need to have white is very okay. So now we have the status being displayed here. What next? So we need to update the status, right? So let's create a function to update the status. Let's have that variable and just have the variable s for status update. So it will be calling the get status function to get the current or most recent status, and then it will display a message. Okay, something like that. Let's. So we're going to format a string here. So we're going to use the string formatting feature. So lights, the status of lights. So this is what we'll do. It will be on. Okay. On if the status, if the current status, so because our variable s is storing the current status, if the current status of lights on, if the current status is on, okay, else off, okay, else off. Then we go to the next line. So I'm going to use this, the next line, sorry, and have fun. This one as well. The status of fun will be on if the status of fun, the status of fun is on, else off, okay. Another line motion status, or if there's a presence or absence of motion, status motion. Yeah, I think it's okay. There's no syntax error. So now let's display this message on the message box. So message box dot, let's now use the show info function. Display system status. Message. Okay, so we'll be displaying system status, then it will display this here. If the fan or the light is on, it will be displayed after this string. The next function we're going to define now. So based on the status, we need to control. So because it's on and we need them off, it's off and we need them on. So into our function here to handle this, handle lights. Someone might ask, what is the need of this function here? Toggle lights, toggle fan, if after all. So let's see what's going to happen here. So this function is going to so this is a function that, so we're keeping something like a variable that's going to now hold the array function that we defined in the control. So this one will hold the toggle. That's that way we imported this. I'm going to call this function. Okay. Then light button, let's configure. So we're getting a button here. Remember we are in the UI, okay? So let's have this into our text. Go to formatted string, lights. So lights will be on, lights on, if val else off. And the background color of this button will be green. It sure that the lights are on. I'm going to use green. So green if on, else would use black, or let's have gray. Let's handle the fan as well. So let's just copy paste this. Okay, I'm going to copy this and paste here, and then this will be, I'm going to edit this toggle fan. And then maybe this one will change this. Let's have orange, and we leave everything intact. Then we want to have this diff handle motion. Going to paste again this one, and then I'm going to have the function simulate motion here. If we go to edit this part, this will be fan button, and then this one will be, let me call it because this will be displaying a status, let's call it motion label. It won't be a button. Then we're going to have motion here. Then we are going to have something like this. We need to edit a little bit here. We're going to have val, then we're going to have red. We have, let's see what's going to happen. Then if val, let's see if the detector, so this one is checking, else green. Alright. that's green. Then I'm going to end this here. Then I don't want the rest. This one, not interested. Yeah, not interested in that. Alright, next, so let's have this. Now let's continue building this. Let's have this label. Smartphone. So this will be the it should be for the entire, like the parent window. So area. Font size 18, bold, okay. Then we use the pack function to put it on the window. Okay, so we pack it with a padding of 10. Okay, so now we need to, so we have these buttons here, not yet created, light button, fan button. So let's create them. So we're going to have the light button here. We create it. TK dot button. Then we place it in the app. The app is the parent as we created here. This is the parent window or the root window of this UI. So everything have to be put inside it. So we have lights. Off. Command. So of course it must have a command. So this is the syntax for button. Use the tk.button function, then you have the parameter app. That's to me is created the app, then the text. What that button, the text of that button, then another parameter is the command which carries the function that button will be handled. Okay. So the command here will be the function to handle lights. Okay. And then another parameter is background color. Give it let's give it gray. Then another parameter will be the width of this, like how why did you want this button to be. Yeah. And then the next thing after creating your button is to put it, to park it on the parent window of the root of the application. So we use the park function to do this, and then you can add the parameter of padding 5, though is optional. Next we're going to create the fun button, so I think I'm just going to paste this. I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and then just going to have to edit this and have fun instead of, and then I'm going to still have fun here. The command will be to the handle function. Everything remains the same. I mean, the rest remains the same. And then let me still copy, let me paste this here, and then we create the motion label. So this will be a label, it won't be a button, it will be a label, sorry, it will be a label, and the text will be motion, text will be motion, and the default status will be no motion, so clear. And the command of this will be handle motion. That will be the command of this. We don't need this background. Can just have the width of 20, and then it's a motion label. What's this? So I'm going to have the motion label here. Wait, can we have the button here? Let's anyway, let's do something. Let's try to do something. This should be a button. And then the text will be simulate motion, because we are simulating this, so we need to have a button by there. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this to create the label. So I will call this let me have a button here. Okay. Then let's change this to label. Let's change this to label. Let's change this to height. Then let's have this. We don't need the command here, so you need to have. And then we want to have. This would be a font instead. Size of 12. There, let's have a button here. So of course it will be within the parent text equal to view status. So it's a button that will, when clicked, it will reveal the status. So command update status. While that function the status, then we pack it, we place it in the parity of 10. Then another button. Out text equal to exit. The command for this will be inbuilt. This will be an inbuilt function to kill the window. So I will quit. Okay. We pack this is a pad of 5. Okay. Then we call the main function to start this or to run this, which we call the main loop. Let's save this. Now, so we have this file, this file. Let's create this file. Let's create this file. So this will be our main. It will be our main file. This is our main init file. This one don't need much, just need to import the various functions that we just did in the GUI and the sensor. So let's begin by importing software app. So we are importing from here. Let's import this. So format.ui, import the starting function, the launch function, the launch GUI function. So if now, so then the function needs to start in Python application. If name is main, launch the GUI. Let's call this function. Alright. However, we can't just run this. We need to install the packages. We also need this. This is not a very okay. It don't have a lot of stuff, but this initialization.py is what tell Python what to follow in the project directory, where to find, for example, in this file you can see we are importing this and this. In this as well we did import. So what I'm going to make the import easier, this file, like, it's going to make Python find these files easily in the path where they're supposed to be found. So here this, you don't need to write anything. It's just a file. Just a file that will make Python know where to find what. So what can we do here? Let's just do anything. Like this. Can just put comments inside this. Write this text, this file, max app as Python package. Yeah, so it makes Python to easily work with whatever you want to be done. That's it. Can save this. We also miss this file. We have this file. So what can we do here? So this as well, this just we have the configurations here. This is where we have our configurations. That's why I didn't start with this file. So we can write something like this: simulation true. This is the simulation of motion. Default states of the devices. So default lights equal to false. Default farm equal to false. Default motion true. So no, it was clear. We had this clear. Then let's log this. Log setting. We had this file here. Log. Upload log. So let's have them here. So log events true, log file so it is the layouts app not log this one. So once this is done, but again, so this we have this. Let's come to the control. You need to change a few things here. So instead of having this, let's now write it because we had coded it. Let's make it some more fancy, and so we're going to have default lights settings dot default fun. It's not necessary, but we just want us to make use of every file that we had in our architecture. Motion. Remove this. Remove this. Then we import this. Let's import this. So let's import our settings from the config. Import settings. Next, so next we need to install the packages and run this. So I'm going to activate a virtual environment for this. Okay. Going to activate a virtual environment for this. So let's activate, let's create and activate a virtual environment. Now the virtual environment is created. Let's activate it. So we are activating the scripts within this. Now we install the packages. Pip install. We don't need this because Tinta is inbuilt in Python, so we don't need to install it. But we need this package called reach. Oops. Look like I'm getting an error. Well, let's run this. This thing needs to be upgraded every time. In the meantime, we can just be stubborn, a little bit stubborn, and try to run it without the package. Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah. This is the main file. This is the UI. If we go to this keyword, import. So perhaps you forgot a comma, so we have an error here. So let's debug very fast. Show.label. So it's line 26 motion level. Line 26 motion level. We need to debug this. So let's see what's happening with this line of code. Line 26. Motion label.config text. What? Text equal to yeah. I forgot a comma here. can see the retroactive stuff. What's this? So still have syntax error. Get status is not defined. Did you mean get status? Okay, which line? Line 15. So we type this in the wrong way. So let's go to line 15. Line 15 of UI. So you can see. There is a problem here. So let's see. So we need to run this. Once you do the changes, we need to run this. So file on main.py. You have the status message. Careful. Okay. So let's see what is happening here. The message. So the message to be displayed. Let's on if status. Let's else off. Then next line from on if. Yeah, so we have this is so again we need to run this afresh. This button main.py. So let's view status. So the status is displayed. Lights off, fan off, motion, no motion. Okay. Let's so let's have the lights on and view the status. Light is on, fan is off. Okay, let's view the status. Lights on, fan off, motion. So let's view status. Motion is detected. Okay. Okay, but there's something missing here. Where's the fan button? Is there? Click exit. So we have the button 4. We are missing the button of the fun button here. Yeah, so the fun button is missing because we didn't pack it with the right variable name, because we had copy-pasted this the light button code, so we should have it now. So yeah, so there we are.